Hey guys, give me a break, man. Give me a flick, man. Victor, I should just say Victor, right? I'm going to be answering some questions today from this young lady. Lucidity's real name is Jen, and she actually made a very good video. It's very organized, and I could have actually incorporated it in this video. And I would have liked to, but I wasn't sure about the copyright on the music, so unfortunately, I'm playing it safe, and I decided just to put the questions here. But anyway, in the future, if anyone does make a video like this and they have a question, if you don't use copyrighted music, I could actually put it inside the video and answer it that way. All right, let's go on. First question. Okay, that's a good question. The first question is, what is the difference between doyu and donna? Both of these words basically mean what kind of or which, and when used with a noun, for example, what kind of man is he? I would say they're both the same. Like, kare wa donna hito desu ka? What kind of man is he? Or kare is he, right? Kare wa doyu hito desu ka? So in that example, I think they're both basically the same. Kare wa doyu hito desu ka? Kare wa donna hito desu ka? In that case, they're both the same. But I was thinking about this, and after consulting with a couple Japanese, I do think that when you're angry, yeah, you usually use doyu. And there's a couple set phrases that are very useful, so I'll give you one today. Doyu koto? The expression doyu koto means, what are you saying? What are you saying? Like, what do you say to me? Kind of, you know. Doyu koto desu ka? Means what are you talking about? So when you're kind of angry or you want to enforce something, yeah, you would probably use doyu, and you wouldn't say donna koto desu ka. It just doesn't have the power, you know. Anyway, I hope that answers your first question. Okay, Jen's next question is how to pronounce the word anohito. Anohito. Now, I listened to her pronunciation, and I noticed that she has more of an American tone with the vowels. She says ano, like a little bit anohito. Now, I'm exaggerating Jen's pronunciation. It isn't quite that bad, but when you're pronouncing Japanese, if you speak Spanish, it's basically the same pronunciation. Spanish is the same with the vowels. Sorry, that was Skype. So again, how do you pronounce that word? Anohito. Anohito, 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 anohito. Okay, that's how I would do it. What I would say about pronunciation, everybody has like one or two or three or more words that they have trouble pronouncing, and all I can say is just try your best to repeat, as many times as possible. You're lucky if you're under 19. After the age of 19, your brain cells start slowly dying. So you've got to find more creative ways to capture vocabulary, keep it in your brain, and especially improve your pronunciation. But it does improve. I've taught students as old as 80 English, and they've actually learned. So don't give up. And if you're young, just keep practicing. Like I told you the other day, it's like the piano or the guitar. Even if you don't have a natural ability, if you practice long enough, you will get it. Next question. Okay, the next question that Jen asks is a tough one. It's easy and it's tough at the same time. The first one, I'm going to give you two answers. Okay, the first one is a very basic, literal translation of the question. She wants to know, how do you say, I need to do something? Now, need in Japanese is hitsuyo ga arimasu. And it's very easy to connect this to a verb by just adding it to a verb. Now, the basic do verb is suru. So you would say, suru hitsuyo ga arimasu. And if you wanted to say, for example, I need to eat, taberu hitsuyo ga arimasu. Taberu hitsuyo ga arimasu. Now that's the basic way. So just add hitsuyo ga arimasu to any verb, and you did it. Now a little more complicated way, but very natural and probably more, I guess more common, would be the nakereba narimasen expression, which is your standard hyojungo or standard Japanese lesson. For example, with taberu, you would have to change it to the ba form. So tabe nakereba narimasen, which is quite a lot to say. And I remember learning this expression when I was first learning Japanese in year one. And there's nothing, the way I did it was I just repeated, a million times, taberu nakereba narimasen, nakereba narimasen, nakereba narimasen. And a good technique is go backwards with the vowels. Start at the very last vowel. So what you would do is write it out. So what I did is wrote it out. I wrote it out for myself here on my computer, and I would go backwards. For example, if you want to pronounce tabe nakereba narimasen and you're having trouble like that, go backwards. Go to the end first. Say sen, masen, rimasen, narimasen, ba narimasen, ba narimasen, ba narimasen, reba narimasen, reba narimasen, kereba narimasen, kereba narimasen, nakereba narimasen, nakereba narimasen, be nakereba narimasen, be nakereba narimasen, tabe nakereba narimasen. And if you repeat it enough times, you will eventually be able to say it smoothly. It does take time though. Now there are other like slang expressions like tabenai tikenai kind of expressions that you'll learn later. So there are variations of that standard form. Keep your ears open. I'm sure next time you hear someone say something like that, you'll figure out, oh, that must be the more casual way to say it. Tabenakya, for example, is another way to say the same thing. Tabenakya, I have to eat. Okay, anyway, let's go on to the next question. Okay, your next question is much easier. You want to say, how do I say I like to do something? That's very easy. Verb plus koto ga suki desu, right? For example, sanpo is a walk, like take up my, Maggie and I go for a walk. Sanpo suru koto ga suki desu. Benkyou suru koto ga suki desu. Neru koto ga suki desu. All of these words, all these expressions are very simple. Just means I like to take a walk, I like to eat, I like to sleep. Okay, next question. Okay, wait, listen up. Okay, I just realized that the most natural, what I told you is grammatically correct, and it's correct, but it's not as common as just saying, instead of saying suru koto ga suki after a verb, you would probably just say no ga suki after a verb. For example, if you want to say I like to sleep, sleep is neru. So neru no ga suki would be an easier way to say the same thing. With sanpo is a noun, right? So with sanpo, you don't need no. You would just say sanpo ga suki. Sanpo ga suki. Okay? So noun plus ga suki and verb plus no ga suki is the more natural way to say the same thing. Should prove very useful when you're listening, at least. Anywho, on to the next question. Okay, Jen, your next question is regarding the word jan and whether it is a fad word. No, it's not. It's common. You say it all the time, so use it. Have fun with it. Okay, it's not. Betamax is an asshat. Don't listen to anything he says. Okay, he's good at music, and I don't know what else. I think he can peel a banana with his toes. I heard, but that's all about it. All I know about the guy. As for his language skills, I have yet to. I would like to see him get his ass over here and make a video. Okay, after he does that, then we'll talk. Okay, Jen's next question is regarding whether I have ever seen Japanese men and foreign women. My first year here in Japan, I met a woman who was completely addicted to Japanese men. She was kind of a nymphomaniac for Japanese men. She was Danish. She was this beautiful, tall Danish woman. And she just loved, she had this, I think it was more sexual than anything else. She really liked Japanese men. So, what can I tell you? I mean, there are lots of them. I saw a couple just yesterday in the bookstore. They seem to be married and have a kid, and he was Japanese and she was Gaijin. I think she was American. My first boss married two American women, and he's Japanese. Of course, his English skills were very good. Let me go back. Anyway, long story short, yes, there are many cases of Japanese men and foreign women, and they do fine, I guess like with any relationship, basically, guys, look, they're human. Japanese people are human, just like you and I. They're human. We are all human, so it's just kind of a silly question. The tendency is usually men come over here, American men come over here, so of course they meet American women. I think men are more common than women. In Japan, so of course you're going to get that kind of couple. Let me just say this, though you haven't asked, Jen, I'm not even implying you asked, but the rumors that Japanese men or Asian men have smaller, whatever, That's just ridiculous. It's you know, it's ignorance for people to think anything like that. I mean, from what I've read, I mean, of course, I don't know, but it's probably just ignorance. You know, I'm sure it has to do with your body size. If your body's bigger, then that's bigger. You know, so I don't think the proportion is not anything exceptional, but it's not an issue anyway. You know, as most people know, it's not an issue. In the, you know, I think very few marriages have been called off, or relationships have been called off because it was too small. You know, but so I'm not even saying that this is what Jen was asking, but those relationships exist, and there's many of them that are just as successful as the other way around, with a Japanese girl or Japanese woman and a foreign man. So, if you're interested in Japanese men, then I'm sure there'll be a lot of them interested in you. Really. Also, just so you know, there is a kind of not a therapy group, but kind of a round table discussion group that I think that meets once a month here in Nagoya with Japanese. It's for American women married to Japanese men, and how it's kind of a support group, I guess. So you know, I don't know what they talk about at those meetings. All I can say is that obviously they get together to talk about something, maybe to compare notes. I'm sure it's not just, you know, problems with my husband. It's probably about, you know, helping their kids integrate into the school systems and sharing information, things like that. But anyway, this is probably more information that you needed to know. So let's go on to your last and most important question.
Maggie-chan, 猫が好きですか?
Damn it, Maggie. Come on.